The Majestic hoop, an optional hoop available for the Husqvarna Viking Designer EPIC 2. So a couple things I want to teach you about this hoop. This is one of the built-in designs that comes with this machine. There's a handful of designs that are meant to be larger, and a couple physical items about this hoop is that it is actually a two-sided hoop. So there's actually a bracket on both sides because an embroidery machine like this can still only embroider the distance between the needle and the inside of the machine. So designs like this are actually broken up into half and half. Let's call it a double wide trailer. So it can only stitch in one side, but then it knows to stop, and then you physically take the hoop off the machine and attach it on the opposite side. Obviously we're attaching it over here, but the brackets are on both sides, and with that it can finish this second side. If by any chance the design shifts a little bit in this big playground here, you will definitely use the design positioning option that is available to help you kind of realign and make sure that when you start your second half of the design, it's starting where it should. Okay, so this is such a pretty design in here. So how would I even find the designs without taking the time to look at every page of the book? So you can actually go into the Joy OS Advisor, and in the embroidery section, look for specialty hoop embroidery, and then locate designer Majestic hoop. The reason to go this way is two things. Number one, it will bring up the tutorial of how to use this hoop completely, and it also brings up the designs that you can actually use with this hoop. Now, just because you want to use other designs, I am going to show you that as well. But when you take a look at these designs, let's just bring up the one I'm showing you and bring it in, is you're going to notice that a Majestic hoop, when it's picked, has this kind of grayed out area in the middle. So you're actually noticing that the designs are actually two separate designs that have been brought together and set in this manner. So as long as one half of the design is in the gray area but not passed into the next playground, it will work. So you can actually set up your own designs for this Majestic hoop to save you re-hooping options. But I will tell you, just because this is set up, you can actually, I'm going to delete this design right here. I'm going to touch and do the trash can and switch the design over to the 360 by 200 hoop, which you actually have. You could stitch that half of the design and then re-hoop your fabric and stitch the other half of the design using design positioning as a way to line them up. So just because you don't have this hoop doesn't mean you can't embroider the designs that come with this machine. So I'm going to delete this back out just real quick, and I'm going to show you another feature. So let's pick and tell the machine that we will be using the Majestic hoop, the 360 by 350. And I'm going to just find a design that is not one of the, here, we'll just bring in this little leaf here. That's a fairly big leaf. So the thing is that you can't just have a design over that middle kind of barrier as long as it sits in the side. So this is actually a design that does not fit on one half of this. So we could either reduce it, but we wouldn't be able to use this in this particular hoop because it crosses over. Now, what if you have a design that's really big and you want to use this particular hoop? There is software that you can purchase from your local Husqvarna Viking retailer that would have the ability to take any design that is larger and split it for you to allow you to use this hoop. So what it does is it expertly goes in and cuts between two designs or the whole design. So if this was an entire tiger head, for example, it would go through and split right down the middle, maybe not straight, but down the middle, and it'll save it as two parts for this design. So that's optional software that does mean you purchase that separately and is a great feature if you want to be using this hoop more. So work on finding designs. Let's just see if we can size this design. Yes, we can. I'm going to just touch and hold and duplicate this. And then with this one, I'm going to just touch and hold and mirror image it. And then I can move it this way. There we go. So that would definitely be within range because this design doesn't cross over into this area and so forth the other direction. But that would be one way that would allow me to hoop one time and stitch out that entire design instead of having to hoop it 2 times. So if you do own this hoop, I hope you'll use it. Try out some of those other designs that are built into this machine and just know what the capabilities are. And if you want to expand them, check out the software at your local store.